Thank you very much, Mr. Zoom Master. Welcome to Leadership Speak, premier club on the planet. We are one of the top 5 clubs globally. Yes, one of the top 5 clubs globally, and we are doing very well today. If you look at the dashboard, we are at the top of our district, and hopefully, once we get the Marshall's report, one of the top clubs globally as well. Our club mission, ladies and gentlemen, is we provide supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Correct. Did you hear that? Communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And Leadership Speak is all about personal growth. When we talk about leadership development, we mean personal growth. And so what is the mandate for Leadership Speak? Well, here's our mandate for Leadership Speak. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. And so that is our primary focus is to why we are here. It's an advanced club, and it's very clear what the mandate is. So every member in this club is becoming on the journey of becoming a better self-directed leader. I would like to introduce you to our Toastmaster of the day, who is all the way from UAE, Vinod Panickar. Now, when you hear the name Vinod Panickar, he's not panicking. He's a distinguished Toastmaster, a very good friend. He's right into leadership development, and that's why he's in this club. He loves what we do, and he's been a member with us for almost a year. He had a slight little stint where he was not able to join us. But here he is today, ladies and gentlemen, all the way from United Arab Emirates, DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster, Vinod Panickar.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Brahm. And I think I should give you same pinch because we both are wearing same color dress today. It's the suit and the shirt. And yes, after joining Leadership Speaks, I have started to panic less, and my surname now makes more meaning. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear Leadership Speak members and the valued guests who have joined us for today's meeting. As the Toastmaster of the day and the captain of the ship who will be taking you through the meeting, let me first share with you how the meeting is going to be divided today. It is divided into 3 segments. The first segment is prepared speeches. The second segment would be evaluation. And the third segment, which usually happens after the meeting, is for guest feedback, but it is also as important as for our normal meeting, whatever we do in the normal meetings. Now, as Leadership Speak is an advanced club, and today we have our 100th meeting. So please give a big round of applause to the entire XCOM and our founder, one of the founder, Distinguished Toastmaster Brahm, and to all the leaders who are sitting over here. The reason why we are here is because of our co-founder, DTM Brahm, and because of each one of you. The difference in Leadership Speak is we have 2 different speeches in every meeting in Leadership Speak. One is a toast that you will see soon, and second is a Leadership Speak speech, which is usually a keynote where we give opportunity for our members to prepare a longer speech. And this is there in every meeting. So this was for the benefit of our guest. I would first like to thank our guest master, Beverlyn Ongano. I hope I pronounced your name rightly. Thank you very much. She was greeting everyone graciously. And our Zoom master, Paramjeet. So now, you know how the meeting is going to be scheduled and who are the key players. There is one more key player who I will be introducing you after the toast. So for the toast, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Clemens. Toastmaster Clemens, may I please have you on the screen, and can the Zoom master please highlight Toastmaster Clemens? Yes, the screen is all yours for the toast.
I would like to propose a toast to goal-oriented leadership in leadership speak, and to each member's commitment to practicing goal-oriented leadership. In September 1962, President John F. Kennedy made a proclamation that the United States will be the first country to land on the moon by the end of 1970. The scientists at that time did not know exactly how to get there. However, despite President John F. Kennedy's assassination, the United States went on to pursue this goal, and by 1969, July of 20th, the United States had the first manned mission to land on the moon. President John F. Kennedy's national goal was achieved. Great leaders are goal-oriented. Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, we are now here again at the year end, and this is the time for us to reflect on each of the goals that we have set ourselves for this year, what we have achieved and what we haven't achieved. It is the time for us to think and plan for the future, for the coming year, 2024. I believe each one of you, during this past year, set leadership goals for yourself. And you have managed to stick to those goals, or you promised that you would stick to those goals. I'll give you an example. Myself, I set myself a goal to speak to an audience of 1,000 people by the end of, by 30 June 2024. And here at Leadership Speak, we are privileged that we have a conducive environment that allows us to practice goal-oriented leadership. We have great leaders, great meetings, great evaluations, and great training. All that allows us to practice goal-oriented leadership. And also, the vision of the club embodies goal-oriented leadership to become better self-directed leaders. And that is a goal that we all strive to achieve. Today, I would like us to celebrate goal-oriented leadership here in Leadership Speak. Please unmute yourself. Raise your glass and join me in celebrating goal-oriented leadership in Leadership Speak, and to each member's commitment to practicing goal-oriented leadership. To goal-oriented leadership.
To goal-oriented
leadership.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Clemens, for giving the toast. So now we have done our toast, and you all know the theme, that is goal-oriented leadership. I would be putting little things in between and about goal-oriented leadership. If you have read the write-up with the flyer, you would have noticed that there were some very heavy words used, like strategic intent and all. That all came from ChatGPT. That was not myself. I will be very clear over here. I like to simplify things and like to talk on a very basic level that people can understand. So for me, what goal-oriented leadership is, it is based on two components. And it is based on three more, which I will speak after our Leadership speaker speaks. The two most important thing for any leader who is goal-oriented is to always keep asking this two questions. What is it that I need? How can I achieve it? That's it. And this has worked miracles for me in my professional life. Because once I step into the office, there are 100 things that keeps from all the directions. And then you become busy in firefighting, solving the urgent problems. But as a goal-oriented leader, you can ask this question every hour. Keep a timer. Every hour, ask this question to your own self. What is it that I want and how can I achieve it? These two things, basically, the first thing is clarity, set clear expectations. And the second thing is focus. How will I achieve it? Only focus on that. If you can do these basic two things, I believe you are on a pretty good track to be a goal-oriented leader. So now, one of the key person who is going to help me for our role today, for our entire meeting today, is our timer. And may I please request our timer to explain the role of a timer and what they are going to do today. And that also is double role. I believe Toastmaster Clements is going to do that role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vinod. My role today is to be the timer. I'll be timing all the speakers according to the time stated in the agenda. I'll be using these warning colors: green, yellow, and red when your time is up, indicating that you must wind up your speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Clements. And I loved the way you were giving a toast with a mobile. I actually first thought it is something else, but then I realized it had a headset. Amazing. Thank you very much. So first, the main segment or the key segments, all the key role players are going to come right from now. Leadership speech. Before calling upon the speaker, I would please request our evaluator and our parliamentarian of the club, Toastmaster Tony, to please read out the objectives or the purpose of the speech. Toastmaster Tony,
yeah. Hello, everyone, and hello, Leya. Leya's speech presentation is from Effective Coaching. It's project number 5, Prepare to Speak Professionally. And she will present a keynote-style speech emphasizing a professional level speaker's point of view in a way that, in a style that supports her speech contest. Back to you.
And timing? Timing, Tony?
Timing is up to 22 minutes.
18, 20, and 22. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Tony, for that. Now, our next speaker, our leadership speaker, is an enthusiast and believes that having goals that one is passionate about helps to move one further in life. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your virtual hands together, clap, show emojis to welcome our leadership speaker, Toastmaster Leya. Toastmaster Leya, 3 words. 3 words, Toastmaster Leya. Back.
Good evening, or good morning, or good day, Toastmasters and guests, wherever you are coming from. Ever find yourself scrolling through your phone and you come across a message or you see some of the highlights from some of your contacts or your friends that just surprise you? A few years ago, I saw a message from one of my good friends, Cassandra. She had just completed reading 50 books that year. My first reaction, wow, this is amazing. I immediately contacted her to find out how she was able to achieve such a feat. And she told me about an app that she had been using to help her reach her goal. I then decided that I was also going to try and achieve my goal of reading 60 books in 1 year. So I broke down my goal into smaller parts, which was to read at least 5 books every single month. It seems easy, or maybe hard, but breaking it down into its smaller parts, I thought would make it more achievable. And the beginning of the year, I started with my goal. January, February, everything was going great. I must say, maybe even amazing. I was even ahead of my goal. Come April, I was very, very far behind my goal. Who here had a goal that they wanted to achieve at the beginning of the year? Let me see your hands, or you can put in the chat. Yes, you had a goal. My next question is, how far have you come along with that goal? Have you achieved it? Are you almost there? Or are you wondering what goal? I was at that point in April thinking I will never be able to achieve this goal. And as I sat there ruminating about how I was going to achieve the goal I had set for myself, 3 words kept rolling in my head. I realized that for me to be able to achieve my goal, I had to ensure that I was consistent, deliberate, and intentional about achieving my goal. And how would this look like? It meant every single free opportunity that I had, I was reading. If I found myself standing in a queue in a bank or even trying to catch a bus, I had a book ready and I was reading. Even at lunchtime, the minute I finished eating my lunch, I would grab my book and start reading. By the time December came, I must say, I was celebrating, as not only had I achieved my goal, but I actually surpassed it by being able to read 84 books that year. And that was only because I was consistent, deliberate, and intentional about my goal. Those 3 words helped me to achieve the goal that I had set for myself. The following year, as I sat thinking, how can I challenge myself more? I thought maybe this year, let me try and read 100 books. Then one of my friends said, Leah, I think you can read 160. I thought my friend was crazy. But as I learned, like what Cissy Tyson once said, challenges make you discover things about yourself that you never really knew. So when you challenge yourself, you'll be amazed at what you'll be able to achieve. So the following year, I set that goal to read 160 books. And I still used my 3 words to help me to achieve that goal by being consistent, deliberate, and intentional about my goal. Having completed my goal that year, one of my friends came up to me and said they would love to read at least 1 book a month. So I sat thinking, how could I help my friend? Here I was reading all these books and enjoying all the knowledge that I was getting. And I wanted to see how I could then pay it forward to someone else. So I then started a book club. And even in that book club, we meet once a month. And because we are consistently meeting, and I must say, we do use my 3 words of being consistent, deliberate, and intentional, we're able to ensure that we read at least 12 books together as a group. Having read all those books, I must say, myself, I have grown immensely. There are various books that I have read that have had such a huge impact on myself. For example, this is one of my favorite books, Leadership and Self-Deception. It tells you about how you as a leader can find yourself stuck in a box and you don't see the challenges that are around you and how they can be stopping you from moving forward. Another book that I love, that I even try to read as often as I can, is The Slight Edge. You might be familiar with it, maybe not. So this one talks about how when you set a goal, what you need to do to help you to move along, to ensure that indeed you will be able to succeed. That setting a goal is just the starting point, and it tries to give you pointers in moving forward. The third book that I'll share with you that I love is Little Voice Mastery. I hope it's visible. The reason why I love Little Voice Mastery is that as a leader, I'm sure we all sometimes will be sitting by ourselves and lots of thoughts are going through our minds. And we need to always be able to control the little voice that's inside of us that may sometimes be telling us, you can't do this. So it provides you with techniques that you can use to master that little voice that's inside of you. And whenever those thoughts come into your mind, because they will come into your mind, you can't get rid of the little voice, then at least you know how to manage it and you're able to move on and succeed in whatever it is you're trying to do. So these are some of the things that I have been able to learn by initially setting up with my goal of just trying to read 5 books a month and being able to move along and even help a friend of mine be able to achieve at least reading 1 book a month. And that's because the 3 words that I one day sat down thinking about, which is to be consistent, deliberate, and intentional, helped me to be able to achieve my goals. And I still continue to use those 3 words as I work on my goals. I'll now, just for a few minutes, just share with you a few items that you can use as you are trying to think about 2024 and the goals that you want to achieve. Maybe these can help you to move along. So these are just some pictures of me and my friends as we gather together while we were reviewing the various books that we have read. And I really love this quote by Brian Tracy that says, a goal without a plan is just a dream. So as you think about the goals that you're going to be working on or that you had this year. I hope indeed you do have a plan to ensure that you achieve that. And as leaders, as we think about goals, we all know how important goals are for you to be successful, as they help you to achieve the desired result of whatever that you want. Here are just some 3 tips that you can use to help you as you think about the goals that you want to achieve. The first tip would be to consider the things that you're passionate about. When you're setting a goal, think about the things you're passionate about. That can definitely help to move you along in terms of the goal you want to achieve. And then you should also think about setting goals that you can control, as you don't want to set a goal where there are external factors that will hinder you from being able to achieve it. So ensure that the goals that you set, that you are able to control it. And then my final tip is just to imagine the future. Think about how it will look in the end once you have achieved that goal that you're planning to work on. And then now we'll just look at what we can look at what can help us to ensure that our goals indeed are achievable. So we normally think of having SMART goals. So at this point, I would like to invite you, the audience, to help me along. I'm sure I've all heard of SMART goals, and I'd like to ask if anyone knows, you can maybe unmute yourself and just share with us if anyone knows what the S in SMART goals stands for.
Specific.
Specific, yes, that's correct. And then the M?
Measurable.
Measurable, that is correct. And the A?
Attainable.
Attainable, achievable.
Achievable, yeah.
Achievable, yes, achievable. Then the R?
Realistic.
Realistic, yes, yes. And, or it could be a relevant goal. And
Relevant,
then the
yeah.
T?
Timely.
Time.
Yeah,
Time-bound.
timely, yes. Yeah, so for us to ensure that we have goals that we can achieve, SMART goals, we have to make sure that indeed that they're specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely or time-bound. So what do these specific letters refer to? So when we're talking about ensuring that you have a specific goal, we're talking about what is it that you're trying to achieve. You have to ensure that whatever goal that you set for yourself, that it's not ambiguous, it's clearly defined, and also ensure that you have a goal that challenges you. So for myself, my goal was to read 60 books. That was the challenge that I had. It was very clear that this is what I wanted to achieve. And then when we look at the M, which is immeasurable, we're trying to see what data will you use to ensure that indeed you have met your goal, because you have to make sure that whatever goal you set, that it is measurable. You'll be able to tell, okay, now I have actually completed the goal. So you have to have a measuring technique, and it has to be very clear whether you have reached it or not. So with my goal, I actually used an app called Goodreads, and that helped me to measure my progress in terms of how I was achieving the goal, whether I was ahead or I was behind. So the app that I used to achieve my goal was Goodreads. And then the A, which is attainable, is, are you sure you can do this? Do you have the right skills and resources in achieving your goal? So your goal must be within reach. And if you realize, okay, maybe I might not have the right skills, you might think, okay, what do I need to do to ensure that I have the capabilities to achieve the goal, i.e., what am I missing? So for me to be able to attain my goal, I had to stop watching television for a little while And even now, I don't watch it as much as I can, because you realize certain things may take up your time and prevent you from achieving whatever goal that you want to attain. And then when we look at the R in the relevant, is how will the results matter? Is your goal relevant to your vision? I wanted to read 60 books, but I wanted to do that because I wanted to grow as a person. I wanted to gain knowledge. And I felt one of the best ways would be by reading. And I knew once I got that knowledge to definitely help me in terms of my leadership aspects, even my relationships with my friends and my colleagues through the knowledge that I acquired. And then finally, the T, which is time bound. What is the deadline for the deadline for accomplishing your goal? So your goal must be time related. And there has to be a sense of urgency when you set up your goal. It can't be ambiguous, as we said at the beginning. Otherwise, if it's not time bound, there won't be, and you won't be really motivated in ensuring that you achieve your goal. So for me, my time was basically a 12-month period for me to be able to achieve my goal. And as I said, I used an app called Goodreads to measure my goal, and it sets you for a 12-month period. And after the end of 12 months, you'll be able to see whether have I met my goal or have I not met my goal. So those are our SMART goals and how they can help us in achieving our goals. I love this quote by Henry Ford that says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right. And indeed, whatever goal that you set for yourself, if you think you are able to achieve it, you're right. If you think you're not able to achieve it, then you're not right. And as we are approaching 2024, and you might be thinking of what it is next that you want to do to challenge yourself, you might plan your goals and think of them as SMART goals. And as you start working on them and you do realize that maybe you get stuck and you can't see how to move forward, I hope that my 3 words of being consistent, deliberate, and intentional will help to propel you so that indeed you will be able to achieve your goals. Thank you, and back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Leya. Consistent, deliberate, and intentional. Goal setting. Set it, get it, so that you don't regret it. Thank you very much. And I would love to be the part of your book club because I saw a lot of food on the table. I would like to be part of that. Quickly, I would like the entire audience to write one of their favorite book. Type it in the chat box. Quickly, one favorite book that you have. One favorite book, so that it goes in the reading list of Leya, and I will also read that next year. Leaders are readers. All leaders, at least like what you say now, whoever the top business leaders who you usually listen, and even the people who are in the non-profit, they always say that leaders are readers. So we all, as 100th meeting, let's set a target of 100 books for Leadership Speak. And we got our champion who will be managing this project change project book. Leya, 100 books for Leadership Speak. Brahm, you have one more project. Done. So now, thank you very much, everyone. We will be entering into the speech section after the Leadership Speak section. So before calling on our speaker, I would request the evaluator of that speaker, who also is our general evaluator today and graciously took this double role, Toastmaster Nina, to please read out the purpose statement.
TTM Brahm Memone is attempting Dynamic Leadership Project Level 2, Project 2, Understanding Your Communication Style. You have to share a communication style and its impact on professional and personal relationships. Avoid reporting on the content of this project. Over to you, DTM Brahm.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Nina. So before calling on the speaker, let me introduce him in a proper way. He is a master coach. He is the founder of our club. And when I think of him, I remember a book comes to my mind that was written by the Intel's CEO. Only the paranoid survived, something like that, in that stream. So when it comes to leadership, I believe this speaker is someone who has got the cells in his body, like every morning, he just repeats 1,000 times the word self-directed leadership. Is someone very special we get in our day-to-day life, and we are very, very happy and gracious to get this person in our club. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Brahm Memone with the speech title, Toastmaster Brahm, your super strength, Toastmaster Brahm. Over to you.
Do you know your super strength? I didn't know my super strength either, long time ago. And because I didn't know my super strength, I didn't know who I was, what I was doing, where I was headed, and why I was doing what I was doing. It was just a crazy world that I lived in, that constant conditioning from the external circumstances telling me who I should be, what I should be doing, when I should be doing it, how I should live my life. That happens to all of us, that conditioning from the external environment. And if you don't know your super strength, you'll be stranded, or you'll be going everywhere, not goal-oriented, off goal orientation, to something that's a very windy road to you have no idea where you'll end up. And here's my journey. My journey was, I began as a teacher. After my high school, I was a teacher for about 6 months. Yes, before I went to the university. That was my first profession. And at the university, I became a meteorologist, the weatherman. I am the weatherman. And then, of course, I didn't actually work as a meteorologist. I worked as a hydrometeorologist, which is entirely different. Driving through the dusty roads of Kenya, looking after the rivers and the waterfall and so on, so to make sure that the water was available, and that was I actually worked with Ministry of Water at that time. Dead-end job. So what did I do? Packed my bags, went to England, became a chartered accountant. That was a long time ago, almost 40 years ago. Oh my, time flies by, indeed. And then I decided it wasn't for me. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know why I was here. I didn't know where I was headed. And I felt in a prison. So as an entrepreneur, I tried all sorts of things and failed miserably. You know the anti-Midas touch? The Midas touch is when you touch something, it turns to gold. Well, the anti-Midas touch is when you touch something, it turns to, I'll leave it to your imagination. Then I became a consultant after some mishaps in my life where I had to sleep in my car, and I turned my life around. I began to understand, why am I here? What am I doing here? And where am I going? And soon after that, I joined Toastmasters. The ability to stand up and communicate and the ability to lead came through Toastmasters, not through anywhere else. Though I had done some very deep work in between being an entrepreneur and a consultant. And I'd done lots of workshops and inner look at my inside life and who am I and why am I, what am I doing? But I still hadn't discovered my super strength. I became a coach and a trainer, and I began to unravel all those things. And I used to do a lot of personality tests and put a profile together. So who am I? What am I doing? And where am I headed? But here in Toastmasters, if you're in Pathways, right? If you're in Pathways, you are asked to do your leadership style, your communication style, and so on, right? And you have all done that because you are a member of Advanced Toastmasters Club Leadership Speak, and you have to have at least level 3 down packed before you come and become a member here. So my path of mastery was, without knowing those things from Toastmasters, because those came out during the pathways, so I've known those for 4 years. So I put together a new profile. And with that, of course, I changed when the pandemic happened. I changed my goals as well. I had never had a goal of becoming a keynote speaker. Sure, I train, I consult, but not a keynote speaker. So my new goal was keynote speaker, to be one of the top 10 leadership coaches on the planet. You read that, right? That is my goal. And I hope that you all have some sort of a goal, that you're goal-oriented. And that meant continual leadership development. And so I stayed on in Toastmasters because I learned so much by teaching a lot. The more I teach in Toastmasters, the more I learn. As you know, every Monday there's a podcast and I'm teaching something or I'm interviewing somebody. That is my continual leadership development in Toastmasters. And of course, that leadership development is really what it is personal development. However, you're still wondering about, this is all about communication style. Well, rest, I'll tell you in a minute. What's your super strength? Well, it's when I did the Pathways program in Toastmasters that I knew a bit more about my strengths, my styles, and what do I need to change. So for example, let's talk about the leadership style first. I know you are all waiting for the communication style, but look at this, my leadership style. My topmost is authoritative, but as you can see, innovative is right there next to it. It's the same, it's 24. Coaching is right next to it, and affiliative, right? So all these are very close to each other, and you can see those depending on the situation, whether I'm authoritative, innovative. Innovative is, I change everything very quickly. And coaching, which is, of course, where I excel at as well. Because as coaches, I have to be very direct. So what's my communication style then? Of course, no prize for guessing that I am a direct communicator, because I am goal-oriented. I know where I am and where I want to go. And so my super strengths, as you now begin to see, is made up of various different things right here by doing pathways. And that makes me even more focused on how I want to achieve my goals. Further on, all the members in our club received a test, a link to a test that they could do, and that was this particular test. I forget the name of the author, okay? But you all got this link, and about, say, 30% of them did the test. And so I put this profile together for myself. And if you had done that, I'm a creator and a pioneer, which I knew, but I just did the test and put all these things together: my leadership style, my communication style, and my strength style. So leadership and communication style is, how I deal with the world, but this creator and pioneer is how I create results from where I am. And all these things together, including my communication style, really tells me where I am, who I am, and where I'm headed, and what do I really need to change as I keep developing myself so that I remain a coach and a trainer. And this is it. No changing of my profession. What is your super strength? Do you have a profile, your leadership style, your communication style, and the skill strength? Have you done that test? All the members got it. If you're a new member, of course, you haven't received it. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Brahm, for that wonderful message. Let me request all our members to share one goal that they want to achieve in 2024. Just one goal quickly. One goal quickly. And if I don't see 3-4 answers, I will start picking people who I see on the screen, or actually I will go to the last person and who has not on their video. I may call them. Just 10 seconds. Share one goal that you want to achieve. Brahm has just shared his goal. He wants to be one of the top 10 keynote speakers. And that is the entire meeting. The theme is revolving around goal-oriented leadership and how are you going to achieve your goal. Get my DTM. Oh, then you are in a perfect place. With the leadership profile of DTM Brahm, he will ensure that, like what you say, no, if you are planning in 2025, the first quarter itself, you will get the DTM, no worries. Done. Thank you very much. Let it keep coming. Now, the second speaker. Before going to the second speaker, let me call the evaluator of the second speaker. Toastmaster Paramjit Singh. Yes, sir.
DTM Sandra is presenting a speech from the project, from the path presentation mastery level 4, managing a difficult audience. And the purpose of the statement is the purpose of this project is for the member to practice the skills needed to address audience challenges when he or she presents outside of the Toastmaster Club or in the Toastmaster Club. And the member will deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech on any topic and practice responding to 4 audience member disruptions already set. And the total time of the speech is 10 to 15 minutes. If you feel there are not much distraction, you can pitch in also. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Paramjit. Now, being an advanced club, I am referring everybody as Toastmasters, or else I will have to keep telling everybody as a DTM like we do it in Toastmasters contest. That is why I am just referring as Toastmaster. So everybody is a Toastmaster. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Paramjit. So our next speaker is excited to share messages from inmates. The speaking and the speech is prepared in gratitude for the volunteers. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Sandra Valks. Toastmaster Sandra, love notes from prison. Love notes from prison, Toastmaster Sandra. The screen is all yours.
Thank you so much, Vinod. What a wonderful opportunity today to fill you in on a little bit more about my journey in prison. Not my personal journey behind the bars, but certainly my personal journey with the inmates. You see, we're in a big chapel room meeting and there's no guards. I'm in there with 25, 30 guys. I don't know what they've done. I don't want to know what they've done. That would be a bias, wouldn't it? But it's amazing to understand that this being Volunteer Week appreciation, they sent out some beautiful love notes to thank the volunteers. So what I'm going to do is, while we are going through this, I'm going to ask you to please turn off your phones and devices and really listen in. Get an idea of who these inmates can be. How closely have you come to being able to be locked up behind bars? You know what? It's like this far. Any of us could be there. Any of us could be there and step through that gate. The other thing I'm going to ask is that if you have questions, put them in the chat or hold them until afterwards. If we have time at the end, I'll be happy to answer questions. And if we don't have time at the end, I'll be happy to answer them privately with you. So here are some of the love notes that have been sent out by the inmates to the volunteers. When solitude shows its face and anxiety wants to take control of my mind, thank you for being there. When doubt takes root in my soul and it becomes difficult to believe, thanks for being there. When I feel suffering inside of me and the instinct to destroy threatens to overwhelm or seduce me, thanks for being there. When serenity finally calms my heart, and my soul opens up to others like a flower gifting its dew. Thank you for being there. Because my supreme being has no body and needs your face to smile upon me, your voice to encourage me, the warmth of your hands to awaken the love deep inside of me. Thank you for being there. This is what the inmates enjoy. Now, there are many Indigenous people in prison, far too many to compare to the number of population. They're a small portion of our population and overly locked up. And it's terrible. So they have their actual elders come into the prison, just like others for religions would have their chaplains come in. And this is from a fellow called Roger. My elder held her light in my new world of darkness. Elder held up her gift of light, giving me guidance and the courage of fight. As I slumped in a jail, this elder entered my angry world, donating precious time.
I did not get you. Which elder? You were talking about some elders. Which elder?
Yes, my elder. I can't see who's speaking there, but yes, the elder. In the Indigenous people, they would look at their wise ones as their elders, not their old ones, but their wise ones. And it would often be those people who have survived and lived and reflected on their journey. So thank you for asking that question. So within the Indigenous people, their leaders, their wise ones would be the elders. And they come in as a religious chaplain of any kind would come in and they help. Isn't that beautiful? Here's a portion. I didn't do the whole thing from Noah, a fellow named Noah. It may seem a small thing, giving time to the forgotten. Can you imagine? It's absolutely true, and I'm going off quote here a little bit, but it's absolutely true. When they go to prison and they get initiated into prison, they are warned if they have a long sentence. They are warned if they have a long sentence that they should be prepared for their friends and their family to forget them. And so they truly do, with any amount of time that they have to put in, they do become forgotten. There's only so many prisons stretched across a whole huge country, and the visitors don't always come in. So the volunteers are a light, a piece of sunshine that comes in from the outside. There are several of you without your videos on, so if you can turn your videos on, it would be beautiful, because then we can connect a little bit more. I would appreciate that. You don't have to be shy, and I understand that for some, you're in a location where the internet is not so strong and the video slows it down. So if that's your case, great, but please stay with me. Stay with me. So here's from Noah. It may seem a small thing, giving time to the forgotten, but as having nothing teaches. The smallest of things can make the biggest difference. I see a few of you over on your phones are a little busy, but I don't know if you're looking up inmates in prison. It could be a wonderful thing to look up. And you might like to do a little research, and you might want to be a volunteer. You don't have to be a volunteer and go in the prison. You could even be a phone buddy, a support. There's so many ways to look after the forgotten. One day they're going to come out. And I like to think that why I go in is not only the curiosity that got me there in the first place, but the other reason I go in is I'm going to be much safer when they come out. Do you think they're going to do anything to me, even if they commit the crime again? I don't think so, because I gave them a light. I gave them a hope.
Sandra,
Yes, yes, Claudette.
you spoke to us about indigenous population in prison. Speak to us about some other populations that you have seen, other diverse populations in prison. Can you speak to us about that?
I certainly can, Claudette. Thank you so much for that question. It's
And also, if you could
interesting.
add a little bit about your good or bad, both experiences, it would be really nice to hear.
I need you to say that just one more time because
It would be really nice to hear some fun experiences as well, some good, bad, some fun experiences as well.
You want a really funny one? Yes, so I'll go to Claudette first. Thank you, Sabnam, because that's going to be fun as well. Claudette, I've been in prison not only in Toastmasters, but also doing alternatives to violence. And again, just like the indigenous people are a low population and a high people locked up, Black people, colored people also are overly represented within prison. It's an eye-opener to recognize. I mean, you can hear it in the news. We hear that in the news. Okay.
Sandra, is it good or bad?
I'm sorry, wait, who's there?
This is Asif. Sandra, so is it good or bad with the overly representation of Black people?
Well, yeah, I find it really sad that any population should be targeted or looked at as different and watched more closely. It's very prevalent now in the States with the news. They have a huge population and they have a lot of things happening. And it's not so different in Canada, except that we only are 10% of their population. So it's bad that we have so many Indigenous, so many colored people in prison in a world that's mostly white in here. That's the majority is white. And there's something wrong and broken with the system. I don't know the answer. I can't help it there. But I wanted to go back to Sabnam. There are some funny things. Now here, keep an open mind. Last Christmas it was when I was in and I had my t-shirt on with a big Santa Claus and a Merry Christmas. But I had a little red jacket over it as well for Christmas, of course. So at the end of the meeting, as I was finishing, because every meeting I go up and speak about something, they expect that. There I'm the teacher, the instigator, the initiator, whatever. And they expect it. So when I finished, I did this. And Merry Christmas to everyone. To show my Santa Claus shirt. Never thought anything about it. Well, there were 3 fellows in the little kitchenette making the coffee. And somebody said, Sandra flashed her boobs. Sandra flashed her boobs. And immediately that somebody hollered that out, 3 heads popped out of the little kitchen door. What? What? It was very funny. I didn't flash my boobs, had no idea as I opened my jacket to show my Santa Claus that such a thing would happen. But those are the times. And we were in on Thursday night and there was so much laughter. The guys were laughing the whole time. And that's what they say, you know, like we get to come here, we laugh and we learn. We learn so much and we recognize there's goodness in people and we get to know this community of people. So when we're out on the range, we've got somebody to speak to. It's beautiful. And so they really get that they have 2 hours to forget that they're in prison, to forget that there's any walls around them. And that is how I get them to bloom where they are planted. So this was Noah. It may seem a small thing, giving time to the forgotten, but as having nothing teaches, the smallest of things make the biggest difference. It takes a very strong heart to not judge the imprisoned with all the pain that they have caused, so to see the person behind the labels. My suffering is justified, for alone I am responsible. The lesson of life I serve is this life lesson, being behind bars. I love this one. This one is from Darren. But for those of you who do not know Canada, we have one of our provinces is Newfoundland. Some people call it Newfoundland. It's a huge rock in the ocean and so separated from Canada, and yet such a vital piece of our history. They have their own language there. It's amazing. So this is one from the rock where life is hard and a lot of them have to leave and go across Canada to find jobs. I was born on the rock where life was rough. I learned how to be wild and craved to be tough. I started to steal when I was a boy. I soon came to realize it wasn't the joy. Then things got more serious. Cars were the game. I was only a punk out to make a name. But listen to my next verse and read it slow, okay? Prison changes a boy as a uniform does a man. And when you go to the big house, that's the jail. When you go to the big house, you have to understand it's a lonely place and the time it do go slow. But if you keep a clear mind, you'll never have to go. So remember what I told you, my volunteer friends, and remain forever free, because right now, the rock is where I'd like to be. So as much as we run away from home, we do like to be back at home, especially Christmas time is really hard for them because they can't be with family. A passing of a neighbor or a friend or a family member, really hard because you can't be there. And in closing, just a closing note, this one came from Brian, and I just pulled out an excerpt here, but it's really important. You always see us through the eyes of kindness and compassion. Your true devotion and your drive from your warm hearts never go out of fashion. You help us look to the beyond. Isn't that beautiful? You help us look to the beyond, get beyond those fences and live and live. And give us the skills to see, the skills to see. You break down barriers, you open the doors, and you never question why. You just give us the key. You see us just as we are. You look behind the mask. We will always and forever be grateful. We truly thank you each and every day. Those are the beautiful love notes from the prison that I hope you have been able to enjoy. Thank you so much for your attention. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sandra. And I would like to say something to you. Merry Christmas in advance.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I had shared in the beginning that I would be sharing something else related to goal-oriented leadership. And this project of Sandra was managing difficult situation. And many times in life, we have this situation where we have to manage our goals, not only in one area, but in many areas. So we have an area where we can say that a professional, or if you are working, or if you are doing non-profit work or anything, okay, like Toastmasters also. Second is our family. So we lead at work, we lead at home, and we have to lead our own self. And one of the best thing the author books who writes about happiness had said was, when you are managing these goals, think of yourself as a juggler. These are 3 balls in your hand, and you are juggling these balls. But the catch and the key is, not all balls are made up of same material. The ball of family is made up of glass. The ball of work is made up of rubber. You lose a job, you can get back. But if you do something mess up with your family, and if that shatters, it may take a little while to get that back together. And he says that the key to stay focused on the goal is, when you have one ball in your hand, completely give your focus on that ball. That is the most important thing, he says, a leader or a person can do in their life. Don't focus the ball that are in the air. Just focus what is there in your hand. So like that, we are all focusing on this particular meeting of leadership speak. Thank you very much for that. Now, our third speaker for today, before calling on the third speaker, let me call upon the evaluator, Toastmaster Claudette. Toastmaster Claudette.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Asif is speaking from the Innovative Planning Path, Level 2, Project 2. Connect with your audience. The purpose of the project is for Asif to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. The time is 5 to 7 minutes. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, evaluator. So our next speaker is a governance and risk management professional. He helps business to achieve their objectives by managing risks through efficient and effective control. He has been extending his corporate experience in helping executives achieve success in professional and personal life. He is a certified leadership coach and from John Maxwell Academy. He is going to speak on the topic. I will read the topic, which is vital for executives, trainers, speakers, coaches in achieving more success. Toastmaster Asif, IAAT. IAAT, Toastmaster Asif. The screen is all yours, Toastmaster Asif.
Dear fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you ever thought that why sometimes in life, in cases of success, in cases of business, or in public speaking, or in delivering your services, why sometimes in life we are overlooked, or we don't get that kind of a success which we think that we deserve, because we gave all that what was required. That's what we think. We gave the best service, we gave the best product, we gave the best speech, a best coaching, whatever you may be involved in as a personal life or a career. Yet success is quite a long distance. One of the things which I have noticed in my corporate experience is that many times we are so obsessed with our own self that we think that whatever we are doing is the best, and we deserve the same reciprocal from the other people whom we are rendering the service or a product. But we many times forget to step into the shoes of those who are the decision makers. Because the decision makers are those people who are going to make a decision on your product or service, or even in your corporate career. Even though you are given the best and you have done umpteen number of tasks and you have delivered all your tasks very well, achieved your KPIs, yet many a times you have overlooked for that deserving promotion. Why? It's all about them. IAAT. Now, for example, one of my coaches said, Asif, I delivered the best of all the tasks. Why was I overlooked for that promotion? The company achieved more profit because of me, because of my ideas. The department got the laurels, but why was I overlooked? One question which opened up his mind was, who was the decision maker for your promotion? Did it benefit him? Because most of the people of decision makers think from the perspective, WIFM, what's in it for me? You did it fabulous for the corporate. We got a lot of profit, But if I'm the decision maker, did it really benefit me? Or what is it in for me that I should give you a promotion? You see, this is such an important thing that we many a times overlook. Do not step into the shoes of the decision maker. And that, I believe, is one of the keys factors which, keeps us away from success, the desired success which we want. In case of public speaking as well, many times our speech is so fabulous, wonderful, but did we ever think about is step into the shoes of the audience? Those are the decision makers who may want to pay money to hear your speech or, take your service from you. Did we really scratch over their pain? Did we really, give them that kind of a solution which they wanted? Did we speak to the influencers who may then influence the decision makers as well? You see, if we haven't done that, then it's quite possible that we may not know what exactly was the decision maker's objectives. And if you don't know the objectives of the decision maker, their pain point, then it's quite possible that yes, our product or service could be very, very fabulous and really good, but it doesn't meet their requirement of the decision maker. You did a fabulous job in the corporate, but maybe that person of the decision maker was envious of you, jealous of you, or maybe afraid that if promotion may be given to you, you might take away that person's job. You may be a threat to that person. Did you step into that thought process ever? Because if you think from those perspectives, you will take all that precautions which is necessary so that the decision maker gives the decision in your favor. And how you could do that? Maybe many times I have been asking, like for example, my boss, hey, what is the normal problems which I could solve? Or what is it that keeps you worrying all about in our organization? What is it that you want to achieve as your dream? It's only when I get those insights is that I start working towards those objectives of the decision maker, and at the same time I make the person aware that look, I'm helping you out in those objectives of the decision maker. And when the decision maker understands and values your efforts to help that decision maker achieve success, is that the reciprocal comes. Whatever the promotion you wanted, the kind of sale contract you wanted, that's possible. And this I'm talking about we as persons, Even corporates think from that perspective when they launch their product and service. So why not we? Why shouldn't we think about the decision makers so that we get more success? Because at the end of the day, it's all about them, not about me. Take care about them. Success is yours. Back to you, Toastmaster, today.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Asif, for the wonderful speech. And now we will be moving ahead with our next speaker. And I believe our next speaker, Toastmaster Noorul, has sent a message that she will not be there today because of some power outrage in their area. Noorul, are you there in the room? I think she is not there. I would request her evaluator, Toastmaster Deborah, to be on the screen. Toastmaster Deborah, Zoom Master, can we have Toastmaster Deborah highlighted?
I was Noorul's evaluator.
Noorul's evaluator, right?
Right. And she said she wasn't going to be able to present today due to an island-wide power outage.
Exactly. So I know that. So I called you here to put you on spot. So I will be giving you a table topic and you have to speak for 2 minutes. I would request the timer because I want to ensure that you speak something, right?
Okay.
So,
All right. Let's do it.
Yeah. So timer, I would request you to time Toastmaster Deborah as per our table topic. We don't have that section. But as we are going to have a contest, let's practice it, right? So 1, 1.5, and 2 minutes. Can I get a thumbs up from our timer? Clemens, the person who is doing our double role today. Thank you very much, Clemens. So Toastmaster Deborah, why should we have goals? Why should we have goals, Toastmaster Deborah?
What kind of a question is that? I mean, really? You're asking me that now? Where do you think I am? Picture me sitting in my boss's office. Gray walls, bright light. It's time for my annual performance review. And before he even gets to the document, he asks me, why do you think, Deborah, that it's important to have goals? My mind went completely blank. I wasn't prepared for that. I thought we were going to talk about the things that I had achieved this year. You know, the things that were already done. I didn't think he was going to ask me a philosophical question. So I took a moment and I paused and I thought, you know, Deb, why is it important to have goals? Then I realized something that my husband had told me. If you don't have goals, you have nothing to reach for. When he said that to me, it stayed with me. I'm actually a goal-oriented person. I like goals. I like to achieve things. I would love to read 50 books in a year. 100 would be amazing. I think I hit 30. So I looked at my boss as he sat in his chair. And I said, the reason that it's important to have goals is because if you don't, you have nothing to reach for. Thank you, Dave, for the inspiration. My boss looked at me and he said, that's a very, very good answer, Deborah. We don't even need to talk about the rest of your performance review. You did great. But for the upcoming year, I want you to think about what is it you can reach for. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Deborah, for that wonderful quote. I will remember that. If you don't have goal, you have nothing to reach for. And please share my regards to your husband and boss, both of them. Thank you very much for that. So our last speaker for the day today would be evaluated by Toastmaster Sabnam Saiyed. May I please call Toastmaster Sabnam? Yes.
Morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, and specifically Toastmaster Mrinal. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring, and also for the speaker to share some aspects of a previous experience as a protégé. It is a 5 to 7 minute speech. All the best and over to you.
Thank you very much. So our next speaker is going to share the benefits of mentoring. And the speech title is, please, I would like everybody to welcome Toastmaster Mrinal. Toastmaster Mrinal, Unlocking Growth, the Power of Mentorship. Unlocking Growth, the Power of Mentorship. The screen is all yours.
Thank you. Good day, fellow Toastmaster and esteemed guest. Today, I want to take a journey on my life goals. Journey as a protégé and what kind of benefit I'm getting from my mentors. So before sharing my own story, I just want to ask with all of you, what are the benefits you are getting from your mentor? You can write in the chat box or you maybe share, unmute yourself and share your journey, what kind of benefit you are getting. Anything you can write even in the chat box also.
Hey, Mrinal, it's me, Dinesh. I would say I am who I am because of the wonderful mentors that I have had in my life. So that just to sum up, I am who I am because of the wonderful mentors that I've had it.
Thank you sharing your transformation journey. And Toastmaster Vinod also mentions, I am still there in Toastmaster because of my mentor. So I just want to share my journey. When I joined Toastmaster, trust me, friend, I'm totally confused. Why am I here? What do I want to do? And what I want to achieve from Toastmasters? I've already completed my formal educations. My professional trainer also there. Then what is the role of mentor? I am totally surprised, totally confused. I'm sharing journey almost near about 2.5 years ago. So friends, today I want to share my 3 story of my life, which I love getting from mentor. One is do it today. I admire and inspired by one person I should mention all over here, that is Brahm. What I learned. One concept I believe that whatever you want to do in your career, start from today only, not wait for tomorrow. Whatever belief you have, thought process you have, you just implement it from today onwards. I'm trying to engage for the fitness for the long time, but not able to do it. But finally, whenever I connect with Brahm, that this is one of the most critical component and you should do it. And trust me, friends, after doing fitness on day-to-day basis, wake up in the early morning, 5 a.m. in the morning, and I know what kind of benefit I'm getting from it. And share one story, do it today. Just 1 week back, my family traveled to Delhi, Kolkata to Delhi airport, and suddenly my daughter forgot to carry her bag. Then when my wife informed me, she was already in the flight. I am confused. How can I sort out the issue? Trust me, friend, I am not wait for the next day, although it was in Indian Standard Time, 11 p.m. So I just took up the phone and tried to connect with the airport authority and also the CISF for the responsible for the, and directly I rushed to the airport. Then I tried to convince them, CISF, those who are the responsible for the take care of, and I shared the incidents, and they tracked the bag. But there are a lot of formalities. During that time, there is no printout centers was open. So I try to connect with the nearby persons who is available and try to, whatever the list are there, I'm trying to solve it. And I have decided, whatever trouble I have today, but I do it today. I know it will be the very challenging moment for me, but I need to do it today. But finally, after a lot of challenges, I'm able to crack it. And this kind of mentality, you can get it from here only. In here, all are leaders, all are inspired. But what you want to take it from you, that's important. And that implementation is amazing, I must say. Second, talking about another story, focus on your goal. Many mentors, when I connect with Vinod also, Paranjit, when I learn from Leya, then Debra, maybe not aware of that running day-to-day basis for fitness, reading a book. Friend, trust me, in the entire year, I'm not able to finish. In last year, I'm talking about not 2 to 3 books in a year. But trust me, within 1 month, I have already finished 3 books. And nowadays, whatever I read it in the books, I try to publish in my own way in the linkage. And what kind of benefit I'm getting from the reading it from the book, I try to implement from the story on and try to implement it. Initially, what happened, almost 700 employees are taking VRS from our organization. It's quite challenging for any employee. So what I did, Brahm always told one thing, Focus on your goal. Never be distracted. But we are the human beings. Distraction happen. But trust me, friends, some few practice, you can do it. You can avoid distraction. Just this component. Phone, mobile. Whenever you just write down your own story for the next day, just throw it your mobile in the next room and focus what you want to achieve. Just visualize what is your short-term goal, mid-term goal, and long-term goal. And trust me, each and every morning, Brahm tries to ask me, what is your progress on your keynote speech? And when he asks, automatically I have connected that, no, it's time to focus my goal. Who am I? What I am doing right now, and where I want to achieve. So this is possible. Without mentor, it's not possible. Taking a mentor, it's not a luxury. It's a lifeline for you. But how you take it, how you own it, it's up to you. And trust me, such kind of facility you are not getting in your formal educations and even also in corporate training. And that kind of platform is there in Toastmasters and mainly Leaders Speak. You learn many things from all the leaders. Another thing, catalyze your career. So that story I want to share with you. Sometimes I connect with Brahm. So I'm asking, so I don't have any proper mentor. So Brahm told me, in your circle, you can connect with anyone. It's up to you what you want to learn and you want to take from it, from your mentor. You can connect with anyone. And with that, sharing my experience. Just 2 months back, I am nominated among 5,000 employees. Best Employee Award in India. And that is quite a remarkable journey. And journey is not possible if I'm not catalyzed my career. Right now, each and every day, I'm influenced of this group, Leaders Speak, and try to do better, one step ahead each and every day. And that's the reflection of my journey. So dear friends, please take a help of your mentor. And you don't know one day where you want to reach with the help of mentor. Mentor is, for me, is a real life God. And you can achieve anything if you have a mentor, protege, relationship for lifelong bonding. You can do anything, whatever you want to achieve in your life. What do you think? Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mrinal, for that wonderful speech and started today. And I think I had read your blog or blog, I believe, on LinkedIn. Few days before that, you have read a book called Do It Yourself, and you were so motivated and wanted everybody to read that. Thank you very much for that wonderful speech. May I please request our timer to share the timing, and I would also request our Zoom master to share the poll for the best speaker. And we didn't had one speaker today. Yeah, so Clement already has given the, that was super quick. Amazing. So in the next 10 seconds, please vote for the best speaker. Toastmaster Noorul was not here today. The rest all were there. You can vote for the best speaker quickly. I just voted now. All right. So now the first session of our meeting is completed. Now we will move to the second session. And to conduct this session, we have a very special person. She will be taking through the journey and the ship to complete this meeting. May I please call our general evaluator of the day, and who also will be playing a role of an evaluator for Toastmaster Brahm, Toastmaster Nina John.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, and welcome to all the wonderful speakers over here today. Thank you for a wonderful meeting, and we will go on now to what somebody calls the lifeblood of Toastmasters, evaluations. We all join Toastmasters for our own reasons, but at the end of it, what's in it for me? And those personal evaluations are what take us to the next level. I will therefore be either doing some evaluation myself or handing it over to other people. Let me start by evaluating the toast by Clemens. Clemens, I love the way you tied up your particular speech along with the goal, very clearly gave us examples of goal-oriented leadership and gave specifically the example of the moon mission by the US, and also in terms of your personal goals of wanting to reach 1,000 people. So wonderful thing in that way. I can commend you on that. Although I'm not sure what drinking your from your mobile meant, but thank you for that also. And thank you for that toast for our goal-oriented leadership today. Thank you. And I will now move over to our next evaluator, that is Toastmaster Hannah, who will be evaluating the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Vinod Panickar. So over to you, Toastmaster Hannah.
Madam General Evaluator, a Toastmaster's role is actually performed long before the meeting starts. It starts the moment the Toastmaster is assigned this role on Easy Speak. That's about 10 to 14 days before the meeting. Our Toastmaster of the day, or as he called himself, the captain of the ship today, performed his role very well, although logging in a bit late. Let me speak about today. Oh, one other thing. Your pre-write-up was very interesting and very informative, as every Toastmaster should do, write it beforehand. Let me speak about today. You mentioned the 3 segments of the meeting: the speeches, the evaluations, and the guest meeting. Very important. And you introduced the role players. As an advanced club, we need to be extremely mindful of our time management and keep the introductions between each speaker as concise as possible. Yet, I like your interaction with the audience here and there. You had a good and clear voice, and your eye contact was also there. Yet, your Zoom presence, captain of the ship, please keep your video on all the time, that you can have an eye on what's happening on your ship, on your leadership. Please. And the role of the Toastmaster started from the day you were assigned they are assigned the Toastmaster of the day. Here, I would have anticipated the theme of the day to be posted into Easy Speak as soon as the Toastmaster is assigned. Of course, all in collaboration with the leadership speaker. This is, of course, of great interest to the person raising the toast, as well as the grammarian and the person presenting the thought of the day, so that they can incorporate the theme of the day into their speeches. Vinod, as captain of the ship, thank you very much for steering us into safe harbors. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Hannah. That was a very, very comprehensive and completely covered every aspect of the Toastmaster's role, including his own delivery of all the different segments and how they were conducted. So thank you very much for that. I will now invite our parliamentarian and senior leader of Toastmasters in Leadership Speak, Toastmaster Tony Bratish, to evaluate our educational speaker, Madam Toastmaster Leya. Over to you, Toastmaster Tony.
Thank you, General Evaluator Dina, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and especially you, Leya. Leya, your project was for professionally speaking. So therefore, I put myself as a member of the audience. What would I expect from a professional speaker? And two simple things. I'd be looking for the message. In other words, why do I listen? What's the value for me? What's my takeaway from listening to a professional speaker? The second thing is, how was that delivered? How did the delivery enhance the message? Well, first off, the message, of course, is very important and relevant to us. I don't really have to repeat it, but it deserves to be mentioned, of course. It was about how we can improve our lives by setting goals. And you use yourself as an example, and you did it with passion. And you talked about how setting goals for you was a form of growth. So therefore, that's the message to us. And yes, that was worth my while to listen to that segment. Yes, setting goals is important to me. Also, you gave us tips how to do it, and you gave us examples. So very good message, very relevant. The next stage, the second step is delivery. Well, the most outstanding thing I found about your delivery, and there was many, and I'll cover them, some of them, was how you used the technique of threes. For example, 3 words. I mean, that was your title, but you used consistent, deliberate, and intentional as your model. 3 words. You used 3 books, and you showed us each of the 3 books and gave a brief description. You gave us 3 tips on how to set goals, and you also gave us 3 quotes. And by the way, you delivered your 3 words 7 times, at least 7 times. Now, other delivery good points is that you were smooth, well practiced, your message was well scripted, your language was very simple, your pace was very even. I do have a few suggestions.
Right, Lisa?
The PowerPoint was good, but I found that parts of it were out of the scale for me. Maybe others might have found the same. The photograph of your book club I thought was fantastic, but I only saw for a few seconds. I would have liked to have seen that a little longer.
Hey,
I found a distraction.
I got your message.
With the slides that had words on it. And once you had the slides with the words on it, I lost focus on you, was focusing on the slides. In summary, you deliver that presentation like a professional speaker. You use great rhetorical devices, including using the techniques of 3. And you were consistent with your message throughout the speech. You were deliberate in the use of your techniques, and you were intentional to persuade us to grow by setting goals. Thank you, Leya. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Tony, for the very standard, excellent evaluation we can always expect from you. Consistent, intentional, and deliberate. So yes, I agree with all of that you have said. I would have also liked to add one more thing, which is in terms of pauses. I would have liked Leya to take a little bit of a breath and a little bit of a pause between each segment of her speech, allowing us to absorb what she was saying and moving on to that. So yes, all the rest of it, the anaphora where you're repeating it, fabulous observation about the 3 books, 3 quotes, 3 examples, 3 words. I really love that about Leya's speech. So wonderful, we're going on with that. We move on now to myself as the evaluator for Brahm. So Brahm's speech, of course, was communication styles. And I think his communication style is direct. So that is pretty much what he did for his speech. In terms of all the other things we're talking about, we are really looking at the fact that in terms of I would have liked a little more about the different kinds of communication styles, and only in terms of, not just only in terms of what is yours, but also in terms of what does the direct style mean in terms of your interaction with the people and professions. We know you as a great trainer, as a great coach, and I think we would have loved to hear some more examples of that. In the beginning, I think I thought there was a little bit of a rush here and there, and words were a little, stumbling on over the other. But I think, again, a little slower pace would have helped, and a little more concentration of content about the styles of leadership rather than about your personal journey over here would have had greater impact. So overall, I think I love the speech. Your Zoom presence is always great. Your background in terms of text for the PowerPoint slides also we need to think about. I think those could also have been varied a little bit with specific reference to what your style is as opposed to what styles are in general. Overall, I think you had a lot for us to think about, and as usual, a lot of insights into what things can be done. With that, I will move on now to our next evaluator, who is Toastmaster Paramjit Singh, who is going to evaluate our second speaker, that is Sandra Valks. So over to you, Toastmaster Paramjit.
General Evaluator, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and especially Toastmaster Sandra. My evaluation today is not on the content of the speech, but how Sandra handled her distractions. And I really appreciate her for a well-prepared speech, which kept audience engaged, as well as she handled distractions, interruptions side by side very beautifully with a great strategies. Of course, she set the stage parameters very well in the beginning by saying that I will answer the questions after the speech or even after the meeting, if not possible in the set time. Now let's take one by one the distractions. Sabnam, Saiyed tried to distract you with distracting voices in the beginning. You didn't show any interest in her disturbances. You are not bothered what is happening. That is very good. And when she was continuously doing the same, and you very professionally, in a professional behavior, you requested her to tell, not her, to everyone also, to switch off the device, and not even naming her that what. And that was really good that she did not named anyone, but you said in a general public, you didn't show any iota of disturbance on your face. You were very comfortable and kept your calm very well. Clement asked you another question, and you graciously thanked him for asking the question, as well as it's a very professional behavior. You replied him without getting distracted. Now, the third thing, which was not intended, but of course you took it in a very nice way, is about for the videos. So you said to everyone to switch on the camera so that listen to the passionate letters what you have got from the inmates. That was really a great, putting interest in the people and making people engaged with you. And another thing, which of course audience tried to distract you, but you were very subtle. They could do only subtle distraction. However, you got trapped and wrapped in the questions by Claudette about diverse population, then subsequent question by Sabnam, Asif, and Clemens. And that time you got tracked into what they were planning to do, and you started distracting from your main theme, the love letters from your inmates. You started giving them replies. That was which is the one point where you could have avoided all this by just nipping in the bud in the very beginning when Clemens asked you the question that, okay, these are the questions. I will certainly love to answer you. And you have already set the tone, but you started giving answers to those people again. So this you could have avoided very well in the very beginning. So I think if in summary, you just handled all the distractions very well in a professional and respectful manner. And the only thing you can add, and this will help you to grow when you're listening to people on handling different audiences, set the parameters and adhere to them, and without getting distraction. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paramjeet. I think you pretty much echoed what I had also thought, that the hecklers got it and poor Sandra was kind of diverted by those. In fact, I think, Sandra, one suggestion that I would like to make is that I think you should, because this is a subject where, you're going to be heckled, you're going to be disturbed, all of those things. I think you should have chosen a lighter subject. I loved the topic. I loved your voice modulation, and the poems and everything was so emotional and evocative. You did a great job of that. But the fact that people were going to heckle you is something that you should have kept in mind. And then then you could have focused much better if it was a lighter subject. Apart from that, you did a great job. Thank you, Sandra, for that. I will move on now to Toastmaster Claudette, who is going to evaluate our next speaker, who is Toastmaster Asif. So over to you, Madam Claudette.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters guests, and especially Asif. Thank you, Asif, for delivering a persuasive speech, I felt, about decision makers. As a leader, it was unusual and unexpected for me to hear the twist of your subject. I expected to be recognized and not always overlooked as a member of a team. Asif's speech was structured and organized with an opening of a question. And the question was, have you ever thought of times when you were overlooked and don't get the success that you wanted? Also, he divided his speech in 3 different topics. He spoke about business, public speaking, and services. The message I took away is that you have to consider the thought process of decision makers, to look at the objectives of the decision maker. Asif's delivery had voice modulation, highs and lows, though effective pauses and good pace. So the speech flowed well and we were able to follow him. Asif's Zoom presence, he was centered within the frame. There was good lighting, effective eye contact, and effective use of gestures when we were able to see them. What I will suggest and recommend, Asif, if you can consider, defining the acronyms. You had 2 acronyms, KPI, IAAT. If I missed it, but you can consider probably repeating it so it stands out a bit more. Adjusting your camera a bit more so we can see more of your effective gestures at times. And possibly just using a plain background with less distractions. And also a more definitive call to action at the end, Asif. To summarize, Asif, you presented a speech on an unfamiliar topic for us Toastmasters, and you met your purpose statement. Consider defining the acronyms API and IAAT, having a more definitive call to action at the end. And overall, Asif, thank you for delivering a persuasive speech, I felt, that made me think of the decision makers, not myself, but that of the objectives of decision makers. Well done, Asif. Thank you. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Madam Claudette. That was as wonderful an evaluation as I have ever heard. Very detailed in terms of what were the objectives of the speech and how they impacted you. So I think you did a great job on that. And I think I agree with this thing about the acronyms having to be spelled out, because the audience needs to know. You have to start with the term, tell us what the acronym is, and then when you're repeating it, we should know what it is. So that was a great one. So thank you, Madam Claudette, for that. And we move on now to Deborah Walker, who's going to evaluate your table topics. I think I'm going to wear that hat as well. I thought it was brilliant. You went straight into the table topics of which of course had a great deal to do with our theme of the day as to why do we need goals. Excellent vocal variety, excellent body language and other details. Thank you so much for that. And that brilliant quote about if you don't have goals, you don't have anything to reach for. For table topics, exemplary speech that all of us can really look forward to in terms of structure, timing, and all the rest of it. So thank you very much for that. And with that, I come to Madam Toastmaster Sabnam, who is going to evaluate our Toastmaster Mrinal. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster Sabnam.
Thank you so much. President, Toastmaster of the Day, General Evaluator, fellow Toastmaster, and specifically Toastmaster Mrinal. Good afternoon, good evening once again. Toastmaster Mrinal today delivered an inspirational speech. Toastmaster Mrinal today took us on a journey of himself being a mentee or a protege. His speech started with a question: what are the benefits of mentorship? He used interpersonal as well as chat box for this question. Later on, he explained the process and benefits of being a protege by narrating 3 different stories. Towards the end, he also stated the effects of being in Toastmasters and the mentors here have on his job and personal life as well. What stood out for me was, first, the subject matter. Second, the importance of reading and also what Toastmasters Mrinal specifically does after reading books. Third, the goal-related questions like what am I doing, what can I achieve, and how do I achieve it? And also the disruptors for his goal achievement. Third, the 3 types of goals, that is the short-term goal, mid-term goal, and long-term goal. Now, my second part of my evaluation is visual and auditory. I think his voice was clear and we could all hear it properly. Second is that his Zoom presence was appropriate. The light is proper. He was standing in the middle. And then thirdly, I think that he was moving a lot while giving his speech. So that was distracting a little bit when you're looking at the screen. So I think that could be avoided. Now, finally, my suggestions. The 3 stories were good, were very interesting, but could be more directed towards the subject matter. Second, the opening was not as powerful as the closing was, because in the closing, you had a call for action, you were inspiring everybody, but when you begin, it was a question related to the subject matter. So it could have been made more interesting that way. Thirdly, when you're giving when you're explaining any subject, when you totally throughout your speech you explain the highs of it. I wish you would have explained the lows also, like what you were before you got a mentor, like what challenges you faced or how you are not able to perform somewhere. Then that could have explained your subject matter to the team. And finally, I would like to challenge Toastmaster Mrinal to use more power words and quotes in your speech. So in order to summarize, yes, very good content. There was storytelling. Then you used interacted with the audience as well in 2 different ways. Then it was goal oriented. You explained the concepts also. But yes, of course, you can move a little less, use more power words in your speech. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Madam Toastmaster Sabnam, for that excellent evaluation, which covered all the details about Mrinal's Zoom presence, visual and auditory elements, and the relevance of the stories. I thought a little more in terms of transition and connecting the stories would also have helped. So I think that is one suggestion I would have liked for Mrinal. And I like the way also that Shabnam's suggestion, I liked her suggestion about using more power words and less movement during the thing. So thank you so much, Shabnam, for that. With that, we move on to our general evaluation segment. We finished the individual evaluations. May I call on my team, starting with the timer, Toastmaster Clements, to give us our timer's report. Is it in the chat? Yes, so our timer's report is there in the chat, and with that, I will move on to my section of in terms of today's meeting. I would like to say that we've had a fabulous team, although we had a lot of like, last-minute glitches of very different kinds. So long as nobody else knows what's happened, that's fine. It's behind the scenes that makes a lot of difference. So let us think in terms of how did our meeting go? I think all our speakers did an excellent job, and so did the evaluators. And we need to, and I think we've pretty much kept to time because it is almost 8:56 now, which I think, we should be ending around this time or so. So fine in terms of that. In terms of all the speakers being prepared, well done. The Toastmaster today did a great job with all the different snippets of information about goal setting and a little bit of lightheartedness. I don't know where he got a Santa hat from in the middle of all this, but amazing job by Toastmaster Vinod for that. And in terms of transitions, I think he did a great job in terms of introductions of both speakers and evaluators. So as a Toastmaster of the day, very well done in all of those areas. Zoom Master, of course, perfect role in terms of Zoom being concentrated at the right time and on the right people, and also in terms of I'm sorry, I got distracted by the poll coming in this thing. Also in terms of how it was conducted. So thank you all for that. I will now call on in terms of some of the roles we did, I think when we were talking about goal-oriented leadership and the challenges that come up with leadership, this is exactly what we're talking about. What happens when a situation crops up unexpectedly? Somebody doesn't show. Who takes over? I think that was a pretty seamless transition by all our members. We all had different people doing different things. And I think the meeting went on beautifully just because of that. So we have to consider what it's all about. Now, one more thing we're saying is that there was a word of the day, which was there in the thing, which is aspiration. And I think I would like to use it at least once, which is my personal quote, so to speak, that the idea of goals or ambition, achieving ambition without aspiration just shows a lack of aspiration. So I think aspiration is something you can have, but without the perspiration, you're not going to reach your ambition. And that's something for all of you to think about for the future. Meanwhile, let me go on now to our next event, which is Yusli, who is giving us the thought of the day for the theme. So, Toastmaster Yusli, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nina Jones. Greetings, colleague Toastmasters and guests. For today's meeting, I will post the thought that I have chosen for you in the chat. You don't get any medal for trying something. You get medals for result. This thought is from Bill Parcells, as he was involving in sports. For us, when we are watching any kind of sport, we see that the trophy usually goes to the team that participate. Doesn't go for the team that just participate and say that we were there, but to the team that take the challenge, overcome the challenges until becoming the best one out of the competition. It is the same thing as well for us as a leader. When we have to do things, we have to set clear goals. As we heard throughout the meeting, how setting goals and work intentionally can help us as a leader to achieve our goals and to get more out of our action. Start with a goal and give yourself the tools to achieve it. And at the end, you will not only satisfy for your accomplishment, you will gain confidence, respect, and many more. As all the speakers today encourage us to set goals, to be intentional, to be consistent in our action. Once again, I encourage you to take the steps that I came and focus on your goal and never get distracted. You don't get any medals by trying something, you get medals for result. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Yusli, for the very thoughtful thought of the evening. And I think with that, we come to the end of this meeting. So in terms of results, our best speaker is Toastmaster Leya Musunga. I hope I got that right. And our best evaluator is Madam Toastmaster Sabnam Saiyed. And with that, it's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hand it over for the closing address to our president, Toastmaster Asif. Over to you, Toastmaster Asif.
Well, thank you very much. Into our today's meeting, we discussed a lot about goal setting and also about goal-oriented leadership. It's very important to understand, why goals are very important. Goals are important because it gives you a focus where your actions and your efforts will be directed to. And when they are SMART goals, you obviously get results. But most important is the purpose and the objective behind your goal. I think that if you are very clear about the purpose and the objective in your life, career, and even in business, the businesses are very clear about their purpose and their objectives, then the goal setting becomes, very much aligned to those purpose and objectives. So this is our, message, which is very important for all of us to implement in our career or even our profession, as well as in Toastmasters. Now, thank you, Leya, for enlightening us about your 3 golden words, that is, be consistent, deliberate, and intentional for achieving your fabulous goals. It's so nice to hear that, you have been, reading so many hundreds of books, and obviously you would have amassed a lot of knowledge. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I'd like to congratulate Vinod for steering this 100th meeting with a panache. I mean, he is really a great storyteller, as well as he knows a lot about leadership as well. So thank you, Vinod. Now I believe Vinod has left the meeting because he had some other tasks to do. And Madam G, you are always, with your thoughts and feedback, which are, very, very relevant. You are always, taking up many extra roles as well. I mean, that's, kudos to you for that, taking up last-minute roles and taking additional roles as well. That's what all leadership is all about. So once again, I ask our members as well as the guests to stay, because we have some very exciting news to share with you. And for that, I would like to call upon Brahm to share this exciting news. Hello, Brahm, are you there?
Hello, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. And club members, especially the club members, past, present, and the future. I was at the district meeting right now. It is still going on, actually, but I had to come here to break you the good news. The district has just announced that Leadership Speak is the Club of the Year. So we have gotten the Club of the Year award. Ladies and gentlemen, is the Tony Breshett Club of the Year award, and here's the trophy. And so we will have our name inscribed on that trophy, and one of us will get to keep the trophy for the year. So there you go. Congratulations, everyone. We are our self-directed leader. Nancy Moverin, the district director, announced announced that we were one of the best clubs around in terms of self-directedness, excellence, and the quality was mentioned at the meeting, and then I was awarded. I took the award on behalf of the club. This of course award doesn't belong to me, it belongs to the club. So ladies and gentlemen, congratulations everyone. This is a great feat, and we will be of course striving and doing our best to be the club of the year this coming year as well. But we'll be keeping this trophy for as long as it takes. So there you go. Congratulations everyone. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Brahm. Yes, obviously, it's very, very important, you know. So, Brahm, you know, it's very interesting to know that last year, Brahm, as a president, you know, I had dedicated a lot of efforts in steering this club. I mean, sharing his knowledge and experience, but most importantly, his passion and dedication. Wearing many, many hats, going over the board, not just as just kind of a role player, but putting his lot of efforts behind, you know, evolving this club as to what level we have achieved today. So yes, there are so many contributions from our members who did a lot of, you know, speeches, and then we obviously got the award, or we are judged as a leading club all over the world as the 5th number. Now, isn't this a fabulous goal? Bob Proctor, a famous speaker and a motivational speaker, spoke about 3 kind of goals, A, B, C. A, B, C. So A and B are the kind of goals. A are the goals which you say, hey, you know, I want to, you know, shed some few kilograms of weight, or I want to, you know, earn so much X amount of money or something which you really know about it. B kind of a goal is, it's a little bit scary. I really don't know, you know, I'll get some more help. I don't know how to achieve it much, but I'm going to be there. You know, there are some help available. C kind of a goal is that goal which you really want to die for it. You're really scared of it, but you want that kind of a goal to be achieved because that's the purpose in your life. And you have absolutely no idea how to achieve it. Now, it is that, you know, power which you, when you start discovering yourself and you want desperately to achieve that, you start discovering your own self. This is that goal for which you want to strive for. We at Toastmasters are here to help you to achieve that C-level goals. That's the reason is, don't ever dream small. Dream big. Dream of that large goals which scare you out, but you really want to strive for it. Thank you very much, everyone, Toastmasters, for attending our meeting. As usual, we are, you know, deliberating on different challenges in leadership. Every meeting, we try to untangle those leadership challenges, and we bring it the best to you, to serve your needs. With this, I'm awaiting for the next meeting, which is going to be a very, very interesting meeting, club contest. Now, may I invite again, you know, to make this announcement very important. Brahm, would you like to quickly point out the club contest?
Certainly. So currently in the club contest, we have 12 speakers for the international speech contest and 12 for the table topic contest. I think one may have withdrawn. Did you withdraw or something because of certain emergency circumstances, right? No, then that's not a problem. I'm just trying to calculate in my head. So about 11-ish or so, right? And hopefully nobody else has an emergency, but of course, as you know, things do happen, and that's fine. So it'd be a very long very, very long meeting. It'll be about 3.5 hours long because of the number of people who want to be in the contest, and we cannot disallow them. But we finally had to close it off because, as you know, we spend 12.5 hours time zones. You know, Deborah is 2 hours west of me, and then India is like 10.5 hours east of me. That's like a huge time zone for 18 countries or 17 countries. So it'll be long. Leya Musunga is our contest chair, and Karin Baptiste is our chief judge. Because of so many people in the contest, and we don't know what the attendance would be, we are trying to get, not trying, but we will be getting a lot of judges from outside of the club, from all over the world, so that we don't have to run around looking for our own members, because normally we have lower turnout these days. Everybody is helping their own districts, and so we tend to have a lower turnout at this time of the year. So thank you very much. We look forward to the contest, and of course, this is not about winning or losing. This is about learning and stretching and expanding. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. President.
Well, thank you very much, Brahm, once again. And with this now, obviously, we have finished most of our work today. It was a brilliant meeting. It was a splendid meeting with good news. I adjourn this meeting.